Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi barakatuh. This is the next part of my series of the human rights in Islam. This one's about Syria, a decade of blood, betrayal, and unbreakable faith. So, my beloved brothers and sisters, respected elders, seekers of truth, and every person listening with a heart willing to feel. Let me start with a light introduction. Someone asked me, Brother Rizwan, what is the most heartbreaking tragedy of our time? I said, Syria, because it showed us how far the world will let oppression go when the victims cannot benefit them politically. The birth of a revolution. Syria did not start as a civil war. It started with children, yes, children, writing on the school wall. The people want to fall on the regime. For this, they were arrested, tortured, their fingernails pulled out, their families threatened, and when the parents begged for their release, the regimes replied, Forget about your sons, go home and make new ones. That sentence ignited a fire in the hearts of Syrians, a fire that burned for over a decade. The people stood up, and the world looked away. Millions marched peacefully, demanding dignity, no weapons, no violence, just voices asking for freedom. The response? Snipers shooting into crowds, tanks rolling over protesters, entire neighborhoods shelled, children targeted, women are violated, thousands taken into underground prisons, and when Syrians beg the world, please help us, the world says, we are concerned, we will monitor. They monitored millions dying. They monitored cities erased. They monitored humanity collapse. The chemical attacks. There's a dark chapter on it. Then came one of the most horrifying moments in modern history, the sarin gas. A chemical that suffocates the body from the inside. Hundreds died gasping for air. Babies foaming at the mouth. Mothers choking while holding their children. Bodies shaking uncontrollably. People collapsing in the streets, unable to breathe. And the world says, we are deeply disturbed. Disturbed. People were dying in agony. And all they could offer was disturbance? If this happened in the West nations, we would go to war overnight. But because the victims were Muslims, silence. Cities starved and bombed into ashes. Places like Aleppo, Hama, Homs, Ghouta, Idlib became symbols of devastation. Barrel bombs, oil drums filled with TNT, metal nails were dropped from helicopters onto markets, schools, and hospitals. Hospitals bombed multiple times. Doctors are targeted. Humanitarian workers killed. Children buried under rubble. One doctor says, we operate in basements because the sky hates us. The refugee crisis, the world's shames. Millions fled Syria, walking through deserts, mountains, and oceans. Some died in the sea. Some froze on borders. Some starved in the forest. One image shook the world. Alain Kurdi, a 3-year-old boy lying lifeless on the beach, his tiny shoes still on his feet, his body washed ashore like trash. The world cried for a moment and then went back to sleep. But Allah never sleeps. The heroism of the Syrian people. Despite everything, the Syrians remained strong. Fathers carried their children through bombed streets, reciting Quran. Mothers gave the last piece of bread to their kids. Doctors performed surgeries without anesthesia. The teachers held classes underground. Children memorized the Quran in ruins. Entire families prayed Fajr under the sound of missiles. One orphan boy says, they killed my family, but they cannot kill my iman. SubhanAllah. What strength, what faith, what light in darkness. This is why Islam will never die. The betrayal of nations. Everyone used Syria as a chessboard. Russian bombed civilians. Iran sent militias. Western nations sent weapons to both sides. Arab leaders turned a blind eye. World powers negotiated territory like it was a game. Nobody cared about the people, they cared about power. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, says, "A time will come when nations will gather around you like people gathered around a meal." Syria was that meal. So people often ask, why do Syrians still hold on to Islam after so much suffering? The answer, check this answer. Because when the dunya betrays you, only Allah remains. Oppression breaks bodies, but it builds unshakable faith. Syrians taught the world patience, courage, sabar and suffering, which is patience and suffering, trust in Allah during darkness, dignity under oppression, and millions around the world accepted Islam after seeing Syrian endurance. Their suffering became dawah. So what Syria teaches the Ummah now? Never trust global powers, never abandon the oppressed. Silence is a crime, unity is strength, faith gives victory even in defeat, tyrants fall always, Allah's justice is not delayed, and the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, says, the dua of the oppressed goes directly to Allah, and the cries of Syria reach the heavens. Their tears were not wasted. And to the final message of Syria, to the people of Syria, you are not forgotten. Your pain has become our awakening. Your resilience is our motivation. Your martyrs are honored in the heavens. Your victory is written in the ink is divine. And one day, inshallah, the streets of Aleppo will be rebuilt. Children will play again. Masjids will be filled with takbir. And the refugees will return home, and the tyrants will fall, and justice will rise again. And Syria will shine again. In my next part, check out the next part. Part is for Yemen, the starvation of a nation and the deafness of the world. So stay tuned. Follow me, like, share, and subscribe. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.